Hello, welcome to the Wealthy Trades Daily Market Forecast for May 27th, 2015. Let's get started right away. Yesterday we had volatility come back into the markets in a pretty fierce way. We had the market, the SPY, all right, the S&P 500 ETF, open up at 212.40 and close at 210.70, and it was one of the worst days we've had if you're a bull, one of the worst days we've had in a little while here. Now, here's the thing. We didn't do any major technical damage. Nothing key. So if I'm looking at the charts here and you're kind of wondering, okay, well, we finally broke that 212 level we were looking to break last week, or maybe the late the week before, then what level, if we're starting to maybe give back some of those gains, what level do we have to watch on the downside? And that level on the downside that we need to pay attention to on the SPY is 208.62. I do not believe we will break that level without seeing at least a decent leg higher. That's my opinion. We've got an all-time high of 213.78. Again, this sell-off, we had a run from about 208 to 213 in a pretty aggressive fashion, kind of giving some of that back. Normal ebbs and flow of the market, okay? So 208.62 on the downside is what we need to watch. If we don't break that, again, my thesis on we're rallying higher, we're probably going to see 225, 230, 235 in the SPY. That is my opinion, and I'm not coming off that stance. So for today, if you are long the market, if you're playing just the SPY, and there are traders out there that just play in the SPY, today is a good day to go long. The reason why is because the market is in an uptrend, all right? The expected high is 211.48. Expected low is 209.92. It hits the expected high not that often. I mean, it doesn't hit it like all the time, but it hits the expected high more often than it hits the low. So 38.5% of the time compared to 30.8. And it also, when it hits this level here, this expected high level, it has a tendency to continue to rally. This is also a good day that if it sells off and it hits the expected low, the 209.92, that's a good level to start buying at, because historically when it hits that, it doesn't hit it that often, but when it does, it typically bounces off and closes higher. I know that because of the levels to win profit. So yesterday was a pretty aggressive down day for the market, but it wasn't a bad day for us. If you remember, what we did is we did a pairs trade at Wealthy Trades. We called this out and we said, okay, what you need to do is you need to, or what we're looking to do is go short in RRC was the stock that I had called out and sent out in the email alert. And RRC opened at 57.75 and closed at 57.03, so was down about 1.24%. And then we were up, so down 1.24%, which means you would have shorted, so you would have been up 1.24%. And then BCR opened at 170.185 and closed at 170.41. So that one there was down about 0.833%. So overall, all right, so overall would have been, give or take, about, on the pairs trade, up about 0.2%. Again, great in the face of a market that sold off aggressively. Kind of the same type of deal with our weekly trades. We're long UNH. UNH opened at 119.22, closed at 118.24, which wouldn't be great if we were just long. But remember, we paired that with the short in SWN, which opened at 26.83 and closed at 26.41. So again, that trade is looking good too in comparison to a market that sold off aggressively. That's the reason yesterday is the type of day and the exact type of market environment why you need to make sure you pay attention to what Wealthy Trades is saying, because if the quality is not that great, then you don't want to just blindly go long. Very, very important. This week we are doing a pairs trade, long the XLV. UNH is the best stock that we're going into in the XLV, and then short in the XLE. And SWN's that stock. So we are up for the week, even though the market sold off aggressively yesterday, and our day trade did well too. So let's talk about what we're going to do today. Again, not a whole lot of people day trade, but if you do, then that's great. If you don't, then you need to pay attention to the weeklies and look at pairs, which is long the XLV, short the XLE, or as I said, long UNH, short SWN. And then for our monthlies, we're still long the XLV, and we're going to stay that all this week, and more than likely, we're probably going to be long the XLV into June also, but we'll talk about that at the end of this week. Let's talk about what we're going to do today. XLV, the healthcare sector, is the best sector, but again, because of yesterday's big sell-off, the quality of this uptrend is starting to diminish. It's not that great. So we are going to do a pairs trade again today. But let's find the best long opportunity in the XLV. So I'm going to move all these stocks over to my portfolio, and in the XLV, adding the plus sign, and I'm going to move those over and look for the best stock. And first thing I'm going to do, as I always do, is eliminate anything that doesn't make money on both sides of the levels to win profit. So for example, ABT loses money on the trend side. I got to eliminate it. All right, so I'm flipping through here, and I'm going to eliminate anything that doesn't make money. Okay, great. Now I'm going to look for the one with the widest levels on level spread. So this spread here is about 25%. Well, that's more than 20. That's more than AET. All right. That's more than there. It's only 23. It's more than that. All right, I'm looking at the spread between the levels on levels. XLV itself has a 25% spread. Anything, if we find something that has a higher than 25% spread, we'll keep it. But I do not believe, and I know I'm going through this kind of quick, but as you can see, I don't think any of these have a wider spread than 25%. So therefore, XLV is going to be our long today. Typically, we find a stock, but sometimes it's the sector, and today it's the actual sector. What we know about the XLV is it closed yesterday at 74.22. Expected high is 74.57. Expected low is 73.87. Okay. When it hits the expected high, it typically makes money because levels to win profit is profitable. When it hits the expected low, much like the SPY that I showed at the beginning, much like the SPY, when it hits that level, that's a good level to buy at. Because look at this, it doesn't hit it that often, it only hits it 25% of the time, but when it does, it typically bounces off, closes higher because it's very profitable there. And it typically, all right, this levels on levels percentage is showing how often does it close below that level. And it only closes below the expected low on a Wednesday, all right, in an uptrend, only 3.8% of the time. So that's a really good area to buy at. So XLV, I'm going to go long at the open, and I'm going to close at the end of the day. And an area, great area to add at is if it hits 73.87, I'm going to add there. You can also add at 74.57. So that's going to be my long position. But remember, just like yesterday, all right, thank the Lord that we were in a pairs trade, because if we weren't, we would have gotten hurt. But because we paired it, we actually ended up having a slightly profitable day compared to a market that sold off aggressively. Why did we do a pairs trade yesterday? Same reason why we're going to do a pairs trade today. The quality, all right, the trend quality is below 50%. Therefore, we are going to do a pairs trade. All right, so I'm going to move all these stocks in the XLE because that is the sector that is in a downtrend. So we're going to do a look for the best shorting opportunity to pair with our long opportunity in XLV. So now I'm going to go through these. I'm going to eliminate anything that doesn't make money. All right, so that one doesn't make money, so get rid of that. Get rid of that. All right, so again, just clicking on these, and if it has if it loses money on either side of the levels to win, I'm going to just get rid of it. All right, so let's just get rid of that. I apologize. It looks like my computer's slowing down a little bit. But I'm going to go through this as fast as I can, and we're going to find our trade for tomorrow. All right, looks like a lot of these stocks in the energy sector don't perform all that well. Well, there we go. APA is one that makes money. ESV is one that makes money on both sides. Okay, so it's basically down to these two, APA and ESV. So APA makes money on both sides. It's got a spread of 26 and 11. Let's compare that here to 32 and 13. 32 and 13 is better, so therefore ESV is going to be our short for today. So here's the game plan. Game plan is to go long in the XLV at the open, close at the end of the day. Feel free to add, again, adding at that expected low of 73.87 is a really good trade, so I may add there. I'm going to close at the end of the day, but I'm going to pair that with a short position in ESV, all right? Short position in ESV because it makes money on both sides. It's the best stock to short. And so short at the open, close at the end of the day. If it hits the trend side, look at this. If it hits this 23.70 level, that's a really good area to add to the short side because it has a tendency of closing below that. So again, this is my trade. Short ESV, long XLV, close at the end of the day. For the week, we are still long in UNH and short SWN. That is my weekly trade. And then for the month, as you know, we're long the XLV and CAH. Let me know if you have any questions. Listen, go email me at info@wealthytrades.com. Sent out an earnings alert yesterday on cores. I'm going to be actually sending out an updated email alert on that, on how I'm going to manage that trade and try to lower my average cost. So let me know if you have any questions. Email me info@wealthytrades.com.